This is Basketball Infinite. Make sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. And we are in the 2002-2003 season of the Michael Jordan simulation. It is his third season and he is currently 23 years old going on 24. If you want to see all of the previous videos with MJ's career starting in the 2000 draft, make sure to click the playlist at the beginning of the video. Alright, let's go through the top 50 players in the league. With number 3 being Vince Carter, who is now in Miami. We've got Grant Hill, Kobe Bryant, who's 6, Kevin Garnett, and Michael Jordan is up to number 8 currently. He's been to 2 straight NBA Finals, and he's looking to make that a third. Alright, we've got Ray Allen, number 9, Chris Webber, number 10, Paul Pierce, number 11, Dirk Nowitzki, number 12, who is in Denver now. Interesting, he left Dallas. Stephon Marbury, 13th. Jason Kidd, 14th, who's still on the Suns. And he is one of the better point guards in the league. We've got Jalen Rose, number 15, who's made 3 straight All-Star games. Steve Francis, Gary Payton, Rasheed Wallace, who won an NBA ring last year. Alonzo Mourning at number 19, who we had a trade offer for in the offseason. Steve Nash, Jerry Stackhouse, Allen Houston, who's on the Spurs. Elton Brand of our Bulls is number 23, and Andrei Kirilenko is 24. So we have 3 of the top 25 players in the league. Anton Walker of the Celtics is 25, Sharif Abdur-Rahim 26, Mike Bibby 27. They're both in Vancouver. The Vancouver Grizzlies stayed in Vancouver and didn't move to Memphis. Jay Will, who went to the Knicks, Glenn Robinson, and Tracy McGrady is 30, who's on the Hornets. He hasn't necessarily developed like he did in Orlando, but he's still in the top 30. Then we have Lamar Odom, Peja, Manu Ginobili, who's on the Magic but isn't coming over till next season, Reggie Miller, Anton Jameson, Richard Hamilton, Sam Cassell, Antonio McDyess, Adrunas Ilgauskas, Baron Davis, Michael Finley, Katino Mobley, Penny Hardaway at number 43, Eddie Jones of the Kings, Pau Gasol, who is on the Clippers, Gordon Gierysek, I kind of remember him, Marcus Camby, Corey Maggette, Kenyon Martin, and then at number 50 we have Vin Baker. And then guys, this is the big draft. That Lakers pick is going to the Pelicans, but LeBron, Wade, although we're good enough to we're probably not getting any of them. But first game against Vince Carter, we win by a significant amount, and then we beat Dallas by 41. So this couldn't have been a better start to 2002-2003. And look at Andrei Kirilenko's stats through 2 games. We traded him for Peja, and it's working out so far. But Elton Brand has an injury where he's out 4 to 6 weeks to start the season. Brand has made 2 straight All-Star games, so that could affect that. I like Michael Olowokandi start. We signed him in the offseason for 3 years, $30 million. And he's done pretty decent in this sim, so I thought it would have been an upgrade. And we've started this season winning 4 games in a row, and you see Jordan's stats to start. Then we face Grant Hill and Jerry Stackhouse November 2nd, 2002, and we win. Michael Jordan 26. Andrei Kirilenko, very impressed with his start still. I'm liking the trade for him. And then we've got a close game against the Cavs, November 4th, 2002. And we do win that game, led by 21 for Olowokandi. Really liking the stats from Olowokandi so far to start this season. But then we face the undefeated Bucks. We're both undefeated, and we do lose our first game of the season. This Bucks team has been competitive throughout the sim. And then we play the undefeated Lakers, and we lose to them as well. Look at Kobe Bryant to start this season. That is a big leap in 2002 so far. He's averaging over 30 a game. But we then beat the Wizards by 28. The Wizards are led by Chauncey Billups and Richard Hamilton. Keith Van Horn is traded to Dallas, who I believe he was on their team at one time in real life. And then we almost jump in against the Spurs, but we don't, and we sneak out with the win. Michael Jordan, 43 points. He's only 23 years old, but we do lose to New Jersey next game. Stephon Marbury has become one of the better point guards in the league. In real life, he was on Phoenix at this time, but he is still in New Jersey. And then we lose to the Pacers next game. Jalen Rose, who is a top player in the league. And then we beat the Raptors, who Vince Carter left, but they have Yao Ming and Tony Parker, so I think they have a bright future still, although it might take some time. We then get some revenge against the Pacers behind a 30-10 game from Andrei Kirilenko. very impressed by that. And then we beat the Cavs by a significant amount. I'm looking at Jay Williams, who the Cavs picked over Yao Ming. He's done okay to start the year, but I'm not sure they should have picked him over Yao Ming. Then we have a game against the Miami Heat. We beat them despite them having Vince Carter. We are playing well against them so far this year. And with Elton Brand out, James Posey has gotten off to an incredible start. He was one of our more valuable players in the playoffs last year, and I have kept him. So let's see, the Wizards trade Greg Ostertag to the Sixers for a protected 2005 first-round pick. We then beat the Suns by 33. Andrei Kirilenko. I am loving Kirilenko for this team so far. Like I said in the last video, I thought he was Peja, but with better defense and younger. So I took it, and it worked out. So Jason Kidd's on our target list. I doubt we'll have any trades for him, and we don't. And then we have a finals rematch. We haven't jumped in any games yet. None of them have really been too close. But we are going to jump in our first one, December 5th, 2002, against Joe Johnson and the Golden State Warriors. Michael Jordan, you see, doing his thing early. But the Warriors are going to stay in this game. The Warriors haven't really been successful at all in this sim yet, just like in real life. But we'll see how they do going into the future. They lost Jamison to the Timberwolves, so their team's led by Joe Johnson, but they really don't have anyone else notable on their roster. They do have Earl Boykins. And then we're going to jump into another close game against the Dallas Mavericks, December 7th, 2002. They lost Dirk Nowitzki, but Mehmet Okur is a rookie, and he has become one of the better rookies in the league fairly early. And the Mavs take a 3-point lead here. You see Okur has 28 points, but Jordan gets fouled and won. What a huge shot. It's 111-111. Jordan with under a minute left. He's got an open lane. He's taking it. Good dunk by Jordan. Then Steve Nash gets the ball. Interested to see how Steve Nash develops in the sim, but Dallas makes a three. I don't even know who that is, but he puts Dallas up one. But Jordan gets to the bucket quick again. Again, the sliders. We're on about triple or quadruple Hall of Fame right now. And in terms of playing extended games, we don't really do that until the playoffs. So once the playoffs start, we'll see how that works. We lost in the finals last year. Despite an 88-point performance from Michael Jordan in Game 4, we got swept. So it's kind of crazy. But, a Candy blocks Mehmet Okur to get the win for the Bulls. But then we lose at home to the Suns the next game, led by 26 from Jason Richardson. But then we beat the Hawks by 13 on the road. Then we play the Knicks and Jason Williams. Look at this game from Jason Williams, who was on the Bulls last year, decided to leave us for the Knicks in free agency. Honestly, I wasn't too disappointed. I didn't think he was that great of a fit. I thought Anthony Carter was a better fit. I thought about it a lot. I mean, here's the thing. Jordan never really had a huge stud scoring point guard winning 6 rings. So I kind of just wanted someone who could get the job done, and Anthony Davis is doing that. You just saw that game we lost to the Heat. A rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals. Now we are playing the Kings. Jordan ties the game. We are in December 2002. You see what Chris Webber can do, but he misses it. It's for the game. Jamal Magloire puts it in, but it is after the buzzer, and we are going to overtime. And Ben Wallace, who has been on our team since last year, he was an unrestricted free agent. We were competing with the Lakers to get him, and he did decide to stay with Chicago on a 3-year, $33 million contract. This is the first we're seeing of Kirilenko, but he gets stopped by Ron Artest, who used to be on our team, and you can see that defense by the Kings. They're up 1, and they hit a shot from the corner. Actually, no, they missed it. Olowokandi gives it to Jordan. Jordan's driving. He's got an open lane, but look at the defense by Ron Artest stopping Jordan driving to the basket. He has developed into a defensive stud. Artest gives it to Webber. Just over a minute left in overtime, and look at Ron Artest hitting the jumper over Michael Jordan, and then he gets blocked by Jamal Magloire, and Artest on the other end to give the Kings a 5-point lead. But we do cut it to 1. With 17 seconds left, Marko Jaric hits both free throws, and we're going to try and tie the game with Jordan, and he's not going to do so, and the Kings are going to come out with a victory here. Alright, moving forward, we beat Dirk and the Nuggets next game by a significant amount. And next game we lose to the Charlotte Hornets on December 21st, 02. Nice game from Tracy McGrady. They've kind of struggled the last couple seasons despite having Baron Davis too. But this trade, I don't know if that's a good trade. I don't know why the Clippers would give up a 2006 unprotected first round pick for Malik Rose. They could regret that, but they also have Pau Gasol, Jamal Crawford, Odom. They kind of have a nice young core, so they could be good by then too. So we'll see. All right, we're jumping into this game against Orlando. We are down 3. They miss. Kirilenko gets the rebound. He gives it up to Jordan. He's driving. He has an open lane. He makes it. He cuts the lead to 1 under 20 seconds left. And then this is Charles Jones, who is at the free throw line. He misses his first free throw. And then he misses the second free throw, so the Bulls have a chance to take a lead here. Michael Jordan with under 10 seconds left. They're saying give it to Anthony Carter. I am not doing that. Jordan gets fouled. He can ice the game here, although the Magic will have a chance. They don't have any timeouts, so they would have to go the full court. Jordan hits the first, and this is for a 1-point lead with under 5 seconds remaining in the game. Can he get it? He can. The Magic are down 1. They have to get a shot here. Charles Jones bricked both free throws to make it a 3-point game, and then he's going to miss that. The Bulls come out with the win there. All right, so we traded Jelani McCoy for 2 first-round picks to the Jazz, and then they traded him to the Kings. Although, as you're going to see later, he is actually second in most improved voting, so he's having a pretty good year, but still, I don't know what's going on with the Jazz. They lost Karl Malone, and they've been in a free fall since. And I think only LeBron could save them at this point. But look at Anton Jamison, 4th in MVP voting, guys. We're in 2003. We are in 2003. We are about 5 or 6 months away from LeBron, Wade, Bosh, and all of those future Hall of Famers, Carmelo Anthony not to mention, entering the league. And this will be a huge change, and I'm excited for Jordan, who will be 24 going into next year, going up against those guys. All right, Charlie Ward, who was the Knicks' best player in the playoffs against us last year, is traded to the Magic. The Knicks are in a little bit of a free fall right now, despite having Jason Williams. And then on January 11th, we lose to the Houston Rockets behind Steven Jackson and Steve Francis. We beat the Bucks. Next game, that's a good win against one of the top teams in the league. But then we lose to the Cavs by 20. Ilgauskas is having a great year so far, but Michael Jordan, 2 points. He was held to 2. That is a career low in the Sim. But we do beat the Sixers on the road next game. And guys, I'm going to talk about this. The Sim wanted us to trade the 2004 and 2005 first round picks we got from the Jazz from Tim Hardaway. I'm not doing it. I just think those picks are valuable. However, this does highlight something, and I do think we need a veteran. And I look at Charlie Ward, who was just traded to the Magic and who played well against us in the playoffs last year. They won a 2003 first-round pick. We're not getting LeBron with that pick. That's going to be a late first-rounder probably, so I'm going to give it to him. And Doc Rivers, our new head coach, is starting Charlie Ward. And the Blazers, after winning a championship last year, are in a regression now, and they trade Steve Smith and Dale Davis to the Nuggets, who both were key players in beating us in the finals last season. All right, January 20th, 03, we are playing against the Celtics. They cut the lead to 1, and then they have the ball, and they hit a 3-pointer to give themselves a 2-point lead, and now it's up to 3. We have a chance to tie the game. We give it to Jordan, but he's going to take a contested 3. But Brand gets the rebound. Jordan has one more chance. He doesn't get it. But we do beat the Pistons by 36 points next game. That's a good win. And then we destroy the Pacers in the game after. So we rebounded. And then we beat the Jazz, who are now led by Peja Stojakovic. You can see his stats here. He's doing well, but I didn't really think he should be the number one guy on a team. They're tanking. They're going to have a high draft pick this year, but I don't know why I'm still dumbfounded to why they would trade a 2004 and 2005 unprotected first-round pick for Jelani McCoy. I thought that was dumb, but we're taking advantage of it. So Mike Bibby hits a shot there, and then he misses here, but Zach Randolph, who has played on the Grizzlies in real life, but here they're still in Vancouver, and they're going to beat us that game. All right, we're February 1st, 03. We're playing against the Bucks. It's 99-99. Jordan's backing down against Sam Cassell. There's nobody in the paint, and I see a mismatch, so I'm going to try and take advantage of it, and I do. And Jordan hits a shot to give him a 2-point lead, and then James Posey gets the steal. He makes both free throws. We win. And seeing here, there's actually not too many serious injuries, which is good, because there's been some serious injuries the last few years, but spoiler alert, that changes. All right, so the sim wanted us to trade that 05 Jazz pick. Keep in mind, in real life, that became the number 3 pick in real life for some dude named BJ Ryder. I don't know what the front office is doing, but I'm declining that trade too. I think that is way too valuable of a pick to give up, and I'm not doing it. All right, we're on the All-Star game. Jalen Rose, an All-Star starter. How about that? He has made the All-Star game 4 straight years. There's Iverson, Kobe, Weber. Tracy McGrady makes his second All-Star game. Then we've got Gary Payton. Dirk for the Nuggets makes it. Paul Pierce. Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Lamar Odom of the Clippers. Is that his first All-Star game? It is. That is his first All-Star game. Jerry Stackhouse, he makes his second straight All-Star game. And then Gilbert Arenas, the second-year player for the Pelicans. So, this is 2K20. You can't really do 29 teams. Unlike 2K21, but franchise mode on 2K21 or My League's kind of broken anyways. So, I'd actually prefer using 2K20 anyways. So, let's look at the All-Stars here. Grant Hill, Steve Nash, Shaq, Jordan, Alonzo Mourning, Marbury, Steve Francis, Jason Williams for the Knicks makes his first All-Star game. How about Zydrunas Ilgauskas making it as well? But moving forward, the Bulls beat the Rockets next game, led by a huge game from Michael Jordan. And we are jumping in February 12th, 03 against the Celtics once again. Jordan's trying to give the Bulls a 1-point lead. He doesn't. We lose. And then the game before the All-Star break on Valentine's Day, we beat the Hornets by 1. But there is some terrible, terrible news. It could be worse. It could have been someone else. But Michael Olowokandi has torn his Achilles, and he is out for the season. Which I just said a moment ago, there hadn't been any serious injuries, so that stinks. So Jordan wins the All-Star game in 03. He also wins the dunk contest, and he gets the All-Star game MVP. So in his third year, that's pretty good. We beat the Clippers. We're after the All-Star break now. And you see Charlie Ward as our starting point guard. I'm excited to see what he can do. He gives us a veteran presence that was desperately needed. He has a lot of playoff experience, and he is an excellent defender, and he goes along well with Anthony Carter. And in this game against the Hawks, we were tied, but Jordan hits a potential game winner, and the Hawks miss. So we keep that lead and win. All right, we kind of... my plan was to go through each game, but in March and April, especially with us being so high in the standings, I kind of simmed a little bit. So I'm going to show a really impressive game here. This is probably the best game of the regular season. We are playing the Celtics once again, and Paul Pierce can win the game here. He does not. We're going to overtime. But the Celtics have a 6-point lead in overtime, but Jordan gets fouled by Gerald Wallace. That's a nice core for the Celtics. Pierce, Anton Walker. They got Gerald Wallace in the 0-1 draft. That was a great pick. I think that was a really great pick. Then Jordan gets fouled. He's got 41. It's 110-107. Jordan gives it to Chris Anderson. He misses, but Jordan gets the rebound. All right, also to highlight, so since Olowokandi is out, Birdman is going to be our starting center. He is interesting. He was our starting center when we won the 2001 finals in like the biggest upset of all time, even with Michael Jordan. That was a crazy series, crazy playoffs. Make sure to go check that out. But Birdman was a big part of that with his defense, and we re-signed him, but he got injured for this season like in February 2002, so he missed the playoffs, and he could have been used a lot because when we played the Blazers in the finals, didn't really have an enforcer on the inside, and Birdman could have made a difference. So we had honestly gone through somewhat easy the previous series before the finals, but then the Blazers had crazy front court depth, and all of a sudden we could have used Birdman. But let's get back to this game. It's overtime. We're winning by 1, but Paul Pierce gets the and 1 over Anton Walker. There's 11 seconds left. Jordan has the ball. He gives it to Elton Brand, who shoots a 3. He doesn't get it, but Kirilenko gets it, gives it to Jordan, and Jordan ties the game. He has over 50 points. We are in double overtime. We're up 2. Jordan gets fouled, and I believe he has never had a 60-point game in the regular season. This could be his first. It is going to be his first. We are up 4 here, and Jordan driving. He gets fouled. He could have a 70-point game. Guys, 70 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks, 3 steals. Holy macaroni. All right, we're skipping to the end of the year. These last few games, we are pretty much ahead for the first seed. We finished 61-21, so we're going to go ahead and jump to the end of the season. Chris Webber wins MVP, and Doc Rivers of our team wins Coach of the Year. All right, this first NBA team, how about Tony Parker getting in there his second year at 20 years old, along with Iverson, Webber, Duncan, and Zydrunas Ilgauskas with 18 rebounds a game. Holy crap. Then we got Kobe, Gilbert, Kevin Garnett, T-Mac, and Shaq, and Michael Jordan. I think that is not good. I think he should have been higher, especially because he had the top team in the East. But he does get the all-defensive first team, too, and he did at least make an all-NBA team. Mehmet Okur won the Rookie of the Year, but Yao Ming was second. He had a good year for the Raptors. And then Amare Stoudemire for the Pelicans. He was probably third. And then the first pick, Jay Williams, also made it, but he still kind of has a long way to go. All right. We are playing the Washington Wizards in round 1. It looked like it was going to be Iverson and the Sixers for a second year, but guys, we traded an 03 first-round pick for Charlie Ward. He dislocated his patella. He's out for the year. That's a big loss. It could have been worse. It could have been someone like Jordan, Brand, Posey, Kirilenko. Honestly, even Anthony Carter or Ben Wallace probably would have been a bigger loss, but it's all right. Whatever. Antonio Daniels, we haven't really talked about him either, but he's actually had a pretty good year for us, averaging over 10 points a game very quietly. And you're just looking at our team. James Posey up to his points a game. Somehow Michael Ruffin is getting minutes. And just in case Birdman got injured, we signed the 7-7 Mercer Rand. You see Ward and Olowokandi out for the year. But guys, Vince Carter's actually out for the year too. So honestly, the Heat probably got hit the worst by injuries. All right, you see the teams that have a chance at LeBron. Raptors with Tony Parker and Yao. And the Pelicans with Arenas and Amare would probably be the best fit. I think the Jazz would be the worst fit. So we're going to go through the playoff teams, or really all the teams through the playoffs. We got the Bulls, the Bucks, the Celtics, the Pistons, the Heat, although they are missing Vince Carter. And Charlotte, who struggled for a few years, rebounded, and T-Mac and Baron Davis are in the playoffs. And the Sixers with Iverson are 7th, and you see this Wizards team that is 8th. They have Chauncey Billups, Richard Hamilton, Q Rich, Juwan Howard, Eddie Curry. But honestly, guys, it's kind of ironic because we all know in this season, and it was his last year, Jordan actually played for the Wizards. So that's going to be kind of funny. But honestly, anything less than a 5-game easy series win would be a pretty big disappointment for me because we are better than that team in every area. So I'm expecting a big win there, honestly. I really am. But we'll see. With Billups and Hamilton, you don't know what could happen. This Vancouver team, I kept them in Vancouver instead of moving to Memphis, and they have rewarded that decision with back-to-back 50-win seasons. Although Sharif Abdur-Rahim is likely going to be out for the first round. Also, this surprised me. I was surprised Dirk went to the Nuggets, but he led them to a 50-win season, which is better than anything he did on Dallas before in this sim. I think that Steve Smith-Dale Davis trade we mentioned earlier made benefits for them because they also have Prince and Battier. They're a really deep team. The Kings with Fartest and Weber make it, and they also had Jelani McCoy in that trade from Utah. And McCoy actually finished second in most improved player, so good for him. All right, the Spurs made it, and then the Houston Rockets sneak in with Steve Francis. Dallas finishes 42-40, but honestly, they get some brownie points from me because they didn't have Dirk, and they still did well. So, Jason Kidd's leaving Phoenix. He's an unrestricted free agent. We haven't really mentioned this, but Elton Brand is also going to be an unrestricted free agent. He refused to re-sign. I wouldn't be the biggest loss in the world because we have Ben Wallace. And I'm cool with Ben Wallace starting because hopefully he enters his prime at this part of his career like he did in real life. But if we couldn't get Elton Brand in the offseason for some reason, we're going after Jason Kidd. Whatever happens, win a championship or lose this year. Honestly, it might be a hard decision between Jason Kidd and Brand to begin with. But we're not focused on that right now. We finished 61-21 for a second straight year. Jordan led the Bulls to the 1 seed. And I am excited to see what happens. I think we should get past this first round easy, but we are playing the winner of Detroit and Miami. Even without Vince Carter, I think Miami could give us some trouble. And then Detroit has Grant Hill and Jerry Stackhouse. So I think this should be an easy first round win, all things considered. But it's not going to be an easy road to the finals either. And I think the league has gotten a lot deeper even since last year. But we're going to see what happens. Michael Jordan's made an NBA Finals for 2 seasons in a row. And we are going to see what happens in the 2003 playoffs. And this is also a year before, now a few months before LeBron, Wade, Bosh, Carmelo, all of them players enter the league. And it could get really interesting when those guys enter the league. But for now, let's try and win a 2003 NBA championship, which would be Jordan's second ring at the age of 24.